The stupid thing didn't work. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the music. Hold on. Here we go. Maybe this will work. Nothing. Nothing. It's Friday, everybody. It's Friday.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Tony
Unbelievable.
Mack. That's Tricky Ricky.
This show is run like a petting zoo.
It's the bullpen. It's run by you.
I know. That's the toughest part.
It's the bullpen. We're here, a beautiful Friday at Toyota Field. It's just a little after 2, and you would never tell that we had like monsoon weather earlier this morning because the sunshine has completely wiped all of that away. But in lieu of a couple of wedding events, one that happened. Hey! In lieu of a couple of wedding events, one that happened last week that you were a part of, one that you will definitely be a part of, I hope, next week. You brought us a guest today.
Yeah, it did. I'm just going to pretend the first part of the show didn't happen. You remember like those first few shows where you're like, hey, we got a producer who lives in Phoenix, and like he also does another job that he's supposed to be doing during this, but he kind of does this too? Yeah, there he is, Kevin over here. He's not in Phoenix anymore. He's here. He's going to hang out with us. Turn the mic on. Say a little hello there. I'm going to turn this music
All right.
down.
Hey, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Thanks for having me.
Does your job know you're here?
I'm on lunch break, I believe. Yeah.
When did that lunch break start?
February 27th?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Last month. But it's good. Things are going well.
No, he's coming back any minute. The line over there at Duncan's.
He always eats. He gets a big lunch. He's a metabolism guy. He likes to get it fired.
A lot of carbs.
I like to take my time.
Okay. Well, music's good now, so
Cool.
I don't have anything else to play.
Just in
but
case we got something later to throw in there.
in case you want to hear the Masters sound, I got that queued up. We got any golf?
I saw a video of
news?
Slap Jesus over there, too, I think. You got that?
You want to throw that back as an oldie but a goodie there? Or about the guy who took that chair to the head? Remember when we got into that for like a week?
Good one.
Let's watch that. You ever seen that, Kevin?
I think you guys showed me that. Was that the...
Yeah, we'll look.
Okay.
We're
But
getting
I'm
off
down to
topic.
watch
I'm
it
sorry.
again.
That's on me. Tony Mac, take it back.
We
My
do
bad.
have quite a bit going on today, given that it is a Friday before the weekend. We have, the NFL Combine started yesterday. We have that. We've got the SEC in football, college football. They are about to experiment with adding Texas and Oklahoma, so they're experimenting whether they want to go to 9 conference games or 8. And if they go to 9, they're starting to tell teams who their permanent teams might be, or at least that's what we're being told. And Ross Dellinger had talked to, or on SI anyway, had talked to Nick Saban. Ross Dellinger had tweeted it out. Nick Saban's not happy with his 3 permanent opponents. We've got Spring League Baseball going on right now in the majors. We'll talk a little Braves because there's a fun Chipper Jones story I want to get to. More importantly, the Angels, the Major League affiliate to our Rocket City Trash Pandas, they today on MLB.com, Rep Bollinger, he's their beat writer.
I'm familiar with Rhett. Good writer. Good guy.
Well, he put out today projecting the Angels' opening day roster. And as you would imagine, some heavy hitters on there, Shohei and Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon, those guys. But there are a few trash pandas that are projected to be in a position to make the opening day roster for the Angels.
Yeah, what pandas are we talking about here? Because we've talked about it. All we can think about is what is this roster going to look like when we finally see it, like a week before the season starts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing Ohapi in the starting lineup for a lot of games. He's kind of holding down that 9-hole slot at catcher, and then the rest of the guys we know, I see them in and out. So, what you got there?
If there's going to be, if there was one trash panda that was going to make the opening day roster and we had to pick who it is, I think we would all agree it would be Logan Ohapi. And that's the first guy that's projected to make it up there, kind of dual catcher role with the guy that's already there. But he's projected to be on the opening day roster. There's not a ton of other trash pandas projected to be, right there on the opening day roster, but in the mix.
All right.
There's more in the mix.
Is it weird to celebrate that?
Yeah, it's bittersweet.
It's jealousy is what it is. I want all the great players for us.
Yeah, I don't. One name I did not see on this list anywhere that they didn't even. I had to search the article again just to make sure we didn't see his name. But I went down to the pitchers, and of course, there are guys like Reed Detmers is going to be the starter again this year, obviously. But they're saying that Chase Silseth could be in the mix to be one of those starters. There was another one, Colton Ingram off the bullpen, could be a guy that's in the mix as well as a relief pitcher. But
Solid.
Ben Joyce is not mentioned at all in here. So
Ooh. We gonna get the fireballer? You ever heard about Ben Joyce?
No, I don't think so.
we might get the fireman back.
Buddy, he's over there in your hometown throwing 105.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Ben Joyce played at Tennessee, got drafted by the Angels last year. He came into the Trash Pandas like the last third of the season. We got to see him a bunch. He's getting that fastball up to about 102, 103 with his off speed going at about 79, 80, which had dudes absolutely just, hacks doing, the overhand lumberjack swing at it, making him look real foolish. So the fact that he's not on there is surprising because I keep seeing videos at spring training, like when he has his bullpen session, everybody goes to watch.
Yeah, right. It's like a spectacle.
He's one of those guys. So
He threw 105.5 miles an hour at Tennessee, which I believe is like the fastest pitch ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came here and
the catcher retired afterwards. He's like, I don't even like the game anymore.
That's crazy.
he got here and he was throwing like 100, 101, 102. I think he hit 103, which was the fastest we saw.
Yeah.
But 101, 102, and then his off speed drops to like 80.
So he's consistently throwing gas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
100%.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
His
fit.
fastball rarely here when we saw him at home, rarely dipped below 100 miles an hour. Rarely.
Yeah, man, if we could get him in Rocket City and then get Fireman by Lil Wayne going when he comes out of the bullpen.
Someone was tweeting about that song today.
Sorry, what?
Someone was tweeting about that song today. That song is 18 years old this
I was
year.
going to say, is that a classic?
2005.
Classic,
Like,
dude.
is
That's a
it
classic.
is it old enough?
This
It's
could be
illegal
his
at
Enter
all.
Sandman. Think of Mariano.
Oh,
I
how
mean, that
could you
wasn't
not?
a fresh song when he threw it out there.
No,
We
but
get Ben Joyce coming out to Fireman throwing 103. Maybe he wears that big fireman's hat. You see, that thing with the
Oh,
bill? Maybe one of those coats. I don't know if MLB will allow that. But, man, that'd be a sick insurance.
When did Mariano Rivera start doing Enter Sandman?
I don't know.
It might have been fresh.
Dude, no one talking about Mariano back in like 91 when that song came out, or 90.
It came out in 91. And Rivera, I mean, he'd been around forever, right?
No.
I mean, he was pitching in the mid-90s.
When did he retire? Like 2010?
yeah, but he played for a long time. I think
yeah,
it was
but he
fresher
wasn't.
than
He
18
wasn't
years.
the man in New
But-
York
but
until
what I'm asking-
like
but-
the late 90s.
But that doesn't matter. When did he start using the song?
Yeah, but Ben Joyce started using Fireman when he was 2 years old in T-ball. He used to come
yeah.
out to that song. A lot of people don't know
It was
that.
fresh back then.
Mm-hmm.
Very
And he
fresh.
was throwing like 14 back then, which in the 2-year-old league is
It's pretty good.
is heat. That is heat, bud.
For a 14.
That only bounces
For a 2.
3 times before it gets to home plate. That's heat.
So no Ben Joyce mentioned in this article about being around the opening day roster. So you know what, I will say I'm excited about that because I mean the dude's just fresh out of college. He's gonna get his shot in Major League Baseball. So if that means we get to see him a little bit before he goes, I'm okay with that. He's like, this isn't me being selfish. He's gonna get his shot up at Major League.
Yeah, he could be one of those guys we see that starts the season here and then at the All-Star break, we never see him again.
I just want him back, man. Just to see him for a little bit. They're gonna take Silseth from us. So
I guess it really just depends on what the Angels already have in the pen. Who did they have on that list you pulled up?
there were a ton of dudes. There were like
a
10
lot of
dudes.
existing guys like that were already on the pro level with them last year.
Well, one of the relief pitchers mentioned that could be, a possible guy on the roster was Colton Ingram. So I mean, it wasn't all.
Well, it's
starters.
something like with the Angels drafted 20 pitchers in one draft that one year. So I mean, there's even if you're awesome, like there's 20 other guys just in your class that you gotta move past, not counting everyone who's already there. So
the relief pitchers. There you go.
yeah, those are a lot of names that have been in the pros. So
For sure.
I don't know. They might have a logjam in the bullpen. They might want some of their guys working down here with us, which I'm totally cool for because the pitching last year was amazing.
It was awesome. It made for a lot of quick, short games. The pitch clock mixed in with our pitching. I mean, at the beginning of the season, the average game time in minor league baseball last year was 2 hours and 35 minutes. And if at the beginning of the year, like through May and the beginning of June, if we had a game that went over 2 hours and 25 minutes, we were upset because we were very used to getting out of here 2:18, 2:15. Our home games were flying by. Then towards the end of the year, it started getting 2.5. But I mean, we didn't go over 3 hours very often.
See the viral clip of spring training right now? That dude for the Pirates getting struck out in 20 seconds against the Yankees. Like, goes to step out of the box, realizes he can't, gets in there. That pitcher knows it. He's in rhythm, and see ya. 20 seconds out of there.
I saw Max Scherzer strike someone out 27 seconds. Is that
Dude,
the one you're talking about?
No, I don't.
Oh,
that
you
was
said
a
Yankees.
different one.
That was a different one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a different one.
But oh man, I love it. Looked like that pitcher loved it too. He got in a rhythm. He was calling for the ball like he had 15 seconds still left on the clock for most of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an interesting little game of cat and mouse between these pitchers.
It's
and
going to
hitters
be
this year.
interesting, yeah. We'll see how
Which
it plays out.
But on the minor league level, like we've already had it for a couple of years. I wonder if it's going to be more of an emphasis now on using that to your advantage, since it does now go all the way up to the pros. You know what I mean? Like the first year we had it, and it was technically supposed to be enforced. I don't think I saw one play clock thing called in 2021. Where in 22 it happened frequently.
Yeah, and you could tell that it wasn't enforced in 21 and it was in 22 based on how long the average game time was. The average game time in 2021 was like right at 3 hours, like 2 hours and 59 minutes. And the average game time last year in minor league baseball for 23 teams was 2 hours and 35 minutes. So it improved by 25 minutes on average.
That's what all sports are going for now too. I mean, college football's talking about taking away the automatic clock stoppage on first downs, try to get their games closer to 2.5 hours.
Some
Everyone's trying
college
to find
games are
that sweet
closer
spot.
to 2.5 hours would be a big consolidation for college football because most of their games are like 3.5, almost 4.
That's what people are
A
saying.
lot of
Like,
their
dude, can
games.
I not spend 4 hours watching the CBS game? Which,
Alabama and the Citadel.
yeah, man, I knocked that out. It's a Saturday. I got plans. Yeah.
This 11 a.m. Alabama Vanderbilt game, and we'll go get some drinks afterwards.
Yeah.
11 a.m. It'd be over 2-3 o'clock. Clock hits 0. 6:30. Cool. All right, let's watch game day. The ESPN game.
Wrap it up.
Prime time.
What do you think, Kevin?
I don't know.
All right.
I
good
mean,
talk.
I think it's going to be an interesting. Did you see the guy in spring training was the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, 2 outs, and he got struck out because.
Oh, my
because of the
God.
cut-
Yeah, it was the
clock.
Braves. That was the Braves.
Was it the Braves?
Braves.
Okay.
Yeah, and it ended in
Red
a
Sox,
tie.
right?
Ended in a tie. It was bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. The count was full. It was a 3-2 count, and with 8 seconds left on the pitch clock, he wasn't ready looking at the pitcher in the batter's box, so he got rung up for a strike, and the game ended in a tie instead of the Braves winning.
You think they actually do that in the regular season?
Buddy, I was just about to say, can you imagine in a big-time game? Whoa. Game over.
Yeah.
What?
I don't
Are you,
know.
whoa.
That'll be the one, like the batter aspect of it will be interesting to watch because I don't remember that being a big issue. Auto strikes in minor league baseball wasn't an issue at all last year for us.
Okay.
But we did see the auto ball get called. I feel
Yeah.
like the umpires and the players, the pitchers, are way more used to the ones coming from minor league baseball are way more used to the auto ball being called. The auto strike, seeing that the other day was weird because even though we've had the pitch clock, we didn't deal with a lot of that.
I didn't even realize that was a thing, that it could go both ways.
With 8 seconds, the batter has to be in the box, like ready to hit, looking at the pitcher. And if he's not, automatic strike.
So are we done with spider tack? Everyone's not we cured that? Did we cure that from baseball? Are we still doing this number?
I think so.
Good.
Some of my dude, I hope not because it's like when you get caught using that stuff, like it's so funny how dumb you look because how obvious it is.
Yeah.
Like think of all the times we've seen how like I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who like clearly had like the tar on his neck.
Oh yeah.
It was a Yankee. It was
Oh,
was
it
it
like-
Severino? Was it?
It's like Vaseline or something, like it was glowing off the lights or whatever, like you could see it. It was
I don't want those moments to leave baseball forever because they're so fun to make fun of somebody for.
I mean, that clip of Phil Necro when the umpire's coming up to him, he's like, "What are you talking? I'll check my pockets." Throws the file. I don't know. What are you talking about? He's like, where'd that file come from, Phil? And he goes, "I'll knock you out." You know, that was old baseball. Yeah, we need those moments occasionally.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to see a guy just blatantly go out there and cheat.
It happens.
You know, he draws on a whole beard of spider tack or something.
Well, okay.
What are you talking
not
about,
that.
dude? It's my beard. Just fuzz and stuff stuck in it, and grass.
You got to play the long game. That you have to have it like that forever.
We need
whole
another
season.
we need another Necro out there who's just trying to get one more year out of his career before he has to retire, and he's doing anything, you know.
It's like
Got Vaseline under the knees, got a secret pocket in the glove. Like this dude's just nothing but tricks.
the guy from Major Leaguers. They put a little hot sauce in
Bingo.
your nose,
Exactly what I was about to say.
wipe your nose.
Yeah. Can we get a man? I'd love if every minor league team had a dude over 35.
Crash Davis.
Just the one last shot player on the roster. You know, locker room guy, team leader. Help
Always
the
a-
boys.
Even if it's not like a last shot to get into the majors, but like a Crash Davis where you're there to mentor the younger guys. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That, like
right.
Bull Durham. Yeah, that's what I want. I
Like
want that guy.
Pujols. Pujols with the Angels now. I'm just tour. You know, he goes on tour. He visits Salt Lake AAA. He comes on down to Rocket City AA. He's out here. Sells some tickets. He waves.
Yeah, have him come DH for us for a year.
It's a
really
stimulus package.
That'd be
And then you
fun.
get late into the game. You get into the 12th, 13th inning. You look at Albert. He's looking pretty good. You throw him out there, and he hits a bomb. Everyone goes home happy, even the losing team.
Can you imagine? Could you,
Like the losing team, be like, man, we lost, but that was pretty cool.
like even if he was 55 years old in minor league baseball, being able to announce a guy who's hit 700 major league home runs, come up to the plate
In this ballpark, he'll probably come back. He'll come back to the league.
he
and
put a
play
hole
here.
in the batter's eye out there.
Oh, dude. He ripped the letters off that J. Alexander's over there.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Didn't
man,
even be able to pronounce that sign by the end of the season.
it's so fun. I'm glad that the Nets have improved the last couple of years. We have people that like some of our privately owned suites over here. We'll have people that there's a suite right next to the press box, and there was a fastball that or a foul ball that came by so fast it hit the wall in between the press box and the suite, and it like left a dent. And it happened in 2021. And every time, even last year, and I know it's going to happen this year, every time they show up to a game when they bring new people into their suite, that's like framed in a museum. They're like,
There
hey,
it
look
is.
at this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that-
Yeah. Whizzed right by me.
yeah. There's a nice little tattoo on one of our windows over there that happened last year, even though the net is high.
Net has been raised.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Looks
10
good.
feet. 10 feet.
Had
Despite Kevin
Looks
Maiton
good.
throwing a bat over it first game of the year last year. Did you know that?
No.
We raised the nets 10 feet. We're telling everybody, hey, nets are up 10 feet. Everything's great. Don't have to worry about those foul balls anymore. Everything's fine. Kevin Maiton, first game of the year, loses control of his bat. Whoop, flings it over the net. Like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to have to – I don't know what we're going to do. It didn't happen again, though. That
gonna
was
be
a
a-
one and done.
We're going to be the first ever domed net stadium. Just put a dome over it, man.
You have no way to get any baseballs or any access
No.
to the players.
T-shirt cannon's going to be wild.
This is what happens when you take spider tack out of the game.
That's
You know,
right.
everything gets slippery. And the next thing you know, you got Louisville Sluggers going into row 4.
I'm so excited to just watch these guys continue to, like, as the Trash Pandas are around longer, the stories we're going to be able to tell when they have, like, prolonged Major League Baseball careers, like this one right here. Chipper Jones was remembering his time with Brian Snicker because Chipper, when he was coming up through the minor league system, he was like the number 1 overall draft pick. He was in minor league for like a year and a half or something. But in his first full year, his coach was Brian Snicker. Brian Snicker was one. I don't know if he was the manager down there, but he was one of the coaches for sure. And they were recounting some of the times that they had when they were down there. John Smoltz said he didn't like he thought Brian Snicker was like the most strict guy he had ever met in baseball. And Chipper was saying, well, you know, it's funny you say that because I didn't see him like that. I saw him every day. You're a pitcher. You know, I dealt with him every day, but he was like ruthless, making him feel ground balls all the time and everything. But this was Chipper Jones' stats in his first full season, 1 year out of high school. He hit 326 with 15 home runs, 40 stolen bases, and had a 925 OPS. And
19?
yeah.
God.
That's
Could
crazy.
you imagine, like, nowadays when we have access to be able to, after every single minor league baseball game, and I know a lot of Angels fans on Twitter that follow me because I, like, live tweet our home games because they want to keep up with their prospects.
Yeah.
They keep up with them on a daily basis. If you were able to keep up with a guy like Chipper Jones in 1990, 1991 on a daily basis in minor league baseball, the hype for him was already big. He was the number 1 overall draft pick. But it would have been insane knowing that dude, after one full year, like common knowledge, that you can just go on the internet and only hit 326, 15 homers, and 40 stolen bases. 925 OPS. You know the only problem with him that year, though? He had 56 errors.
Oh! Yo! 50. Hey,
yeah, he's playing
practice makes perfect.
he's playing
man.
shortstop.
He figured that out.
How many games?
That's
Playing short. 135.
Eh,
135 games, 56 errors.
That's a lot.
He was a shortstop.
That's too many errors.
That's
way too many errors.
That's too many.
One every 3 games.
He figured it out, though.
Oh, I would
it out.
say so.
Yeah.
First ballot Hall of
Does he
Famer.
credit Snit?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he said the Snicker, they did nothing. It was just foul ball after foul ball after foul ball after foul ball. Or ground ball, excuse me. Ground
Well,
ball
no
after ground
wonder,
ball after ground ball
yeah.
after ground ball.
Old Dorn over there making 56 errors in a season.
None of that's Olay.
You know, they were like, God, we got a complete bust, dude. Like, that guy can hit the ball, but he's just, he is a liability at third base. He'll never be anything.
He was a shortstop then.
shortstop.
He was
huh?
playing short then. Yeah.
So that
move.
maybe
Good move.
Yeah, so that
Good
made
move.
him that made him a third baseman, huh?
Well, now instead of playing short, when you can you have just a split second longer to see it coming, we're going to move you to the hot corner
Yeah,
where
right.
There's no option for an error. You either field it or you die.
If we just hit the ball hard enough at Chip, it'll get stuck in his glove. That's what they
His
thought.
hat's face. Either way, it's not going to touch the ground. He's out.
Get your body in front of it.
Give him less time to think about it. You know,
Yeah, it's
instinct.
It's
smart.
Yeah, it's just defensive instinct at this point. Life or death.
Self-preservation.
Good for Chip. Good for Chip.
326, 15 homers, and 40 stolen bases, and 925 OPS.
That's unreal.
It's not bad.
Like 19 years old.
For
Snicker
19.
hates pitchers, though, huh?
Well, no, John Smoltz didn't like Snicker.
Mm.
He said he was like one of the more strict. He was the most strict person in baseball. He said he'd ever seen at that point.
Wow.
So, but Chipper said what he learned the most that year was Snicker. What he remembers the most, he said him working my butt off. We were still in low A ball. We were still kind of boot camping it before games. It was ground ball after ground ball after ground ball. Watching every single move I made there at shortstop. Not much has changed. It's the same temperament that Snicker's always had. But John Smoltz has has said that Snicker was the most intimidating coach he encountered coming up to the minors. And Chipper said, I never got that vibe from him. That's a pitcher versus a guy who is out there with Snicker every single day. Sin has never changed in the 30 years I've known him. I think it's consistency every single day and making sure players know he's going to be patient when they go through the stretches. Players appreciate that. Now that he has big league job, it's kind of like Bobby Cox. You never heard a player say anything negative about Bobby. So it's less that Smoltz didn't like him. It was just he was intimidated by him.
I get that.
I can see that.
Some of our coaches be intimidating looking, you know. Come around that corner of the clubhouse when you're not supposed to.
Who'd you say? Which one?
Man, I had to go to the dugout last year to confirm the starting pitcher, and I went in there and asked the pitching coach. I said, "Hey, do we have Seminaris on the mound?" And he just went. He just stared at me and he pointed at the lineup sheet right over his shoulder. He goes, pointed at his name, and I got on the radio. I was like, "Yep, we're good with Seminaris." I'm like, "Well, I'm never doing that again." Somebody set me up.
Who was our pitching coach last year?
I think it was Kenny Hook. He was the one who looked at me, and he looked at me like,
Kenny Hook's awesome, though.
yeah, but he wasn't in that moment. He was, he's 3 minutes before the game. He's ready to go, and then here comes, the guy on the field with the hula hoops. Hey, we getting Seminaris on the mound? He's like, how about you let me do my job, dude? Do I get in the way of the astronaut race? Get them. So, I don't do that anymore.
Probably smart.
Yeah, probably. It's y'all's fault up here sending me over there.
Oh, my gosh.
Pretty sure it was a rib, and I fell for it.
Being here in minor league baseball, obviously in the spring, it's a big time as we get ready for baseball. But being in the South, spring is also time for the Underwear Olympics, the NFL Combine. The NFL Combine started yesterday. Okay. So people call it the Underwear Olympics because you just go out there and you see a bunch of really big and buff, muscly dudes work out in their underwear. And apparently GMs decide they they want to draft them based off of that, and your draft stock can go up or down depending on what goes down at the combine. And some big notables from some players in the SEC and that we've been familiar with the last few years. Did you see Nolan Smith's combine yesterday?
Yeah, it looked pretty stellar.
I mean, unbelievable.
He looked like an entire level above the rest of the linebackers.
He had an unbelievable combine yesterday. Some other notable, like Will Levis is getting ready to go out and throw. And he is his confidence is absolutely through the roof. It's going to make everybody dislike him even more. But
you know what else is through the roof with him? His cholesterol. Because he puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
What?
Yeah.
Never see that video?
No.
Bro, he
no,
came
I have
out
to
and
look
did
that
this
one up.
publicly.
Oh, dude, he's done it on TV. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
How much? Like
You know how some people like
Like
a
he
lot of
gets a
creamer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but mayonnaise.
But
And it
that's-
doesn't
yeah.
mix either. It just floats at the top.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Just chunks of it. I mean,
don't say chunks.
where do you think he learned that? Do you think he just try it out?
And he does weird stuff, man, because it was the summer before. That was last year before his senior year at Kentucky. But when he transferred from Penn State to Kentucky, the big thing was he was on TikTok eating bananas with the peel on them.
Okay.
So he just does weird food stuff and claims he likes it. I guarantee you he does not drink mayonnaise in his coffee normally. But he did it on TV, and it's disgusting.
You sure?
I hope
I
not.
feel like if you do that once, enough to where people know about it, you do it. That's your thing.
You're the mayonnaise coffee guy.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, you do it once, you're still the man.
I ate a penny once just on a dare, but I didn't continue to eat pennies. after that.
Are you sure?
No, nothing there.
I didn't hear it. No.
No, ain't getting my lunch money, pal. Well, at least not for another couple days.
Oh, God.
All right, but you get what I'm saying.
But
So what are we saying?
His confidence was out of this world today.
Yeah.
When asked about why he's going to participate in the throwing drills, because guys like I don't think Bryce is going to do it, but he said it's because I have a cannon, and I can't wait to show it off, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So, like almost word for word.
Word on the street is he was kidnapped as a baby and locked away in a Hellman's factory.
Had to eat his way out.
He had to eat his way out. Yeah.
I would have thought.
And then he had to
Dukes-
drink coffee to stay awake because
Only
it took
thing-
so long.
Only thing you had to do to wash it down was some Folgers.
There was some leftover Folgers and an entire vat of mayonnaise. The only thing separating him from freedom.
I bet if you asked him, he'd eat coffee beans or coffee grounds. I bet he would.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't stand Will
I used
Levis.
to chew on these as a kid.
I hope he fails wherever he goes. He's got to really prove himself to me. I don't know.
But what's going to happen is he's going to go. He said he made that statement, and he's going to go out and throw this weekend. I think quarterbacks are tomorrow. He's going to go out and throw, and he's going to look good because I mean he's got good measurables. He's big, he's fast, he's got a rocket arm, but he's got nobody rushing him. You know who else maybe wasn't like super big and fast, but had a really good underwear combine, had a great arm, looked real good throwing the football?
Go ahead.
Who?
Crosstown rival.
I don't know.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Really good. People were like, "Oh, everybody's wrong about Zach Wilson. Look how good this throw. Look how
Yeah,
insane."
look, you rolled to the left and he did that.
it's so stupid the
Remember that?
amount they put into that, though.
But
You know
it's
what
gonna,
I mean?
It's going to happen. It's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
happen with Will Levis this weekend. He's going to make some really eye-popping throws because he's standing there by himself playing catch with somebody, and people are going to fawn all over him. And you're going to hear everyone say, "Will Levis is going to be up there above Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud in some people's mocks." You're going to have Anthony Richardson up there as well because Anthony's going to probably have some good measurables if he's measuring this weekend.
sure.
It's just going to happen.
There's some sort of psychosis that hits football fans this time of year. You know, you now don't have football, but you kind of have it with the combine, but you really don't. So now you create scenarios that don't even exist in your head to cope with it, and you create situations where Will Levis, who accomplished nothing in college, is a guy we should be looking at. Meanwhile, Bryce Young, who's like a wizard and done a ton of things, is like, I don't know, man. He's only 5'11".
Yeah.
It's so crazy how like you can watch tape and be like, dude, this guy look at the defense he's going up against. Look how tough of a throw that was against tight coverage. And you're like, oh wait, he's only 5'10". Nah, never mind, he's not that good.
No, he
You
won't
just
cut it.
watched him be good
Yeah.
against really good defense, really good coverage. You watched him do all this stuff, but now all of a sudden you can't. I don't think he can do that. You just watched him do it. What do
How
you
many
mean you don't
pros
think
were
he
on
can do
those
that?
Georgia teams the last few years? All of them?
ton of
40.
all of the guys? How about all the guys he practices against every day? How many of those are pros? All of them? I don't get it, man.
We're just desperate for content, though. We're like ravenous for anything that's like football related.
Exactly.
So like this guy only has like 10 1/4 inch hands. I don't know anymore. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, Kenny Pickett. Whoa.
Yeah.
We know you
Whoa.
always keep telling me that I'm in my rookie years of dad, but I'm testing above rookie level.
Right, you're playing
like
it like
that.
a 4th or 5th year veteran.
What would be a way to what would be the dad combine? Like what would be involved in the dad combine?
I feel like we've talked about this. Maybe you're 40 across a scattered field of Legos.
Oh yeah, that'd be a
Yeah.
good one.
Or like a 3-cone drill where you have to microwave some formula in between. You know, like you go down, you go up, you microwave, you go down and back.
I know a good one would
Test
be
it. Test it on the wrist. Test it. Too hot. Got to go back.
a good one would be putting yourself in a house,
Yeah.
having the lights on for 10 seconds, then turning the lights off, and having to carry the baby while still asleep from the room to the changing table without tripping and bumping over something, because that happens all the time. Like you can't wake the baby.
That sounds interesting.
Shatter your shin on a couch. Done that.
Don't want that.
Pretty sure I broke my pinky toe trying to answer the door for a pizza once.
God, dude.
Was it worth it?
It was great pizza.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Great pizza.
Are you on the dad IR now? Are you out for
No,
4
this
to
was
6
several
weeks?
years ago. This was
Okay.
back
He's
in
on the pup.
back in college ball.
Yeah, there's no time management in
No.
this combine. You
No
play
load
through
management.
pain.
You just put
Every
I think
night.
You put a dad in a scenario in a house where it's got all like just how any dad would live, and you monitor all of them, and you see which one's doing the most dad stuff. Like you got some snacks, like some chips or some M&Ms or something on the counter. Does the dad walk up and just eat some, or does he grab the bag and shake it? You know what I mean? Dads shake snacks.
I got a good one. You get an hour. We're going to put you in Lucas Oil Stadium. We're going to see how well you can manage the energy efficiency of the building. You're adjusting thermostats. You're going, do we need this light on? Who's using this room?
Interrogation
No one's
skills
using
are
this room,
important,
right?
Yeah.
We don't need this light on.
too. Interrogation skills are important, too.
Yeah.
Knowing the thermostat's been touched is one thing, but being able to determine who did it
Yeah.
is the other one.
How many volts can you reduce from Lucas Oil Stadium in 60 minutes? Go.
Let me ask you this. You're driving in the car, right?
Yeah.
You've got somebody in the back seat. You guys are having a good time on a road trip or something. You hear a snack open in the back seat. What do you do?
You take the dad tags, man.
The no look.
Yep.
The no look reach.
You reach
I knew
it back.
I knew
you
it.
cup it.
I like how you went for the underhand method. I went over, and that hurt my shoulder.
Pro.
That's going to
See,
be a torn labrum.
amateur move.
See?
And you're dropping snacks. Here,
You
cup
turn my
it.
shoulders, too.
It's
I'm not
right there.
squared to the wheel. You got to be, I've heard Mel Kiper say, keep your shoulders square. You reach like that.
Bad technique.
That's bad
if you
technique.
reach back like that, you're also grabbing, and if you drop anything, it's on you. You reach back with the cup, it's up to them to put it in your hand. And if it
Man.
drops, it's their fault. It's not your fault.
There's
and then
an
you can
art
close.
to this.
The turn's tricky. When you come back, you have to turn your arm. It's tricky.
I'll tell you about this guy.
What about like a dad instinct one, where instead of like jugs machines shooting balls at you, like turn around, and you have to catch like a fake doll of a baby.
lamb.
You
Like
know?
a baby.
I'm sure you've had.
Yeah,
like,
you know when
Like
you're
a babe? No, we're not going to jugs machine a baby at you.
No,
you
you're not
said
gonna
like a
judge-
baby doll.
You know, like
but-
falling off the couch. You gotta get there in time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you ever have to catch babies at high speeds.
Well,
Shot
you know-
at you, do you?
You know when you're going home, you're walking.
Hey, we need to
from-
change.
You know,
Throw
when
them
you're-
like a fish, like at that Seattle fish market.
Pikes or no, that's not it.
you know, like when you're walking from the office to your car to go home, and like babies start falling from the sky.
And you got to be ready. Dad instincts,
Okay,
man.
cool. That one could get a little messy.
Yeah, I would say.
That could
probably.
get a little messy. That'd have to be a day 2.
But yeah, dude, like
thing.
dad things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you determine who's the most dad of all dads?
Gonna need a grill off or something too.
Yeah. But it's not graded on how you cook.
How you look.
It's just graded on
Gotta have
on
the
the
white socks.
performance.
Maybe the
It's
New
like
Balances.
like a what's it called in the Olympics, where the floor routine. It's judged like that,
Absolutely.
elegance, that kind of stuff.
Because if you have a guy that's just getting to work, he's grilling, he's watching it, and he's flipping it. That's great. The product might turn out well, but there's just more to it. There's more intricacies. Like if you have a dad that kind of knows, the temperament of his grill, he knows when it's time to flip it, right? So in the meantime, instead of watching the meat, he's just kind of staring off, like judging other people's house. Like, there's shingle. That needs a new roof, probably.
Need to trim those edges.
Was
Last
that,
time you
is
think
that
they
what
washed
are those vinyl?
Last time you think they washed their car? That's gross. It's time to mow his grass. I'm going to do it for him if he doesn't. They don't figure it. That was another dad move I saw. Dude, I'm not quite there yet. I'm hitting on like a second or third of the year level. But Jen and I, we like to go walking through the neighborhood sometimes, and we'll get to walking. There's a house that was for sale, and no one was living in it. So the yard kept getting longer and longer.
Oh, I'm getting fired up just thinking
And
about it.
there's a guy that lives across the street from it, and he drives a truck for a living. And when he's home, like his house is perfect. Like their house is gorgeous. Their front yard, everything. You could take a ruler to that grass, and it's all the same length all the time.
It's good grass.
We had
What
been
kind of grass,
walking.
man?
Yeah, what kind?
Bermuda?
What is this?
Oh,
What
we're
is
talking Bermuda probably.
Oh yeah.
Nice
Oh
Bermuda.
yeah.
oh yeah. Keep going. Sorry.
We're walking, and like for a week, we see the yards unkept. It looks terrible, and then the next weekend we're walking around, and you hear a lawnmower going. And I told her, I said, I guarantee you that's the guy across the street cutting that grass. Sure enough, we get over there, and he'd had enough. Just mowing.
Won't take
through
it.
No, it's a true dad. Not only keeps his house looking good, all the other houses have to look good to reflect how good your house looks. You can't have other houses looking bad.
Any lot touching yours is now also yours.
That's right. There's a lot to learn out there.
Speaking of your neighborhood, you guys got any like message boards or whatever? You got like a neighborhood chat
on Facebook
thing? Because
Yeah.
mine does.
Oh yeah.
I haven't got in there yet. You get in there yet? That feels like a dad thing.
I've
Getting
been-
up in there, making sure everyone's staying up to date. Hey,
No, I
how
kinda
tall is
just-
your fence, Fred? What is that? A 10-footer?
I pretty much just like watch and everybody get it. I'm not really like involved. That's more of like a mom thing.
That'd be a
than
mom
it is-
Olympic
Yeah,
thing.
I was gonna say.
Okay.
It's way more of a mom thing than a dad.
Dad
thing.
goes out and just mows the grass. No message boards.
Yeah, Dad
I'm
sees
not
the-
creating a profile because the guy next door can't handle himself. I'm not getting on you face just because that guy next door.
Your face.
I am. That could be the move. Refusing to sign up for new things. Dad Olympics.
Yeah.
Ah, we're gonna get Paramount Plus. We're not. I'm not getting one more account. Watch it on the Hulu. What do you mean? It's not. Just do it.
No, Dad, like
That's a perfect
the
time.
concert tickets come straight to your phone. I want them printed out. I want printed tickets. Printed tickets is a dad thing too.
I found
the
out
digital tickets not a dad
Can't
thing.
trust
something.
them.
Some of these are interesting, because my parents are in their 60s, and if you send them anything digitally that they have to sign or whatever, that instead of just doing it in person, they can do it digitally. They're like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm doing it in person because that ain't real. That's on the computer. But then meanwhile, my dad will get on Facebook 2 minutes later and be like, did y'all hear about that Joe Biden? He's a woman now. And I'm like, I don't think that's true, Dad. I think that's a fake story. And he's like, no, I saw it on Facebook. I'm like, where do you guys draw the line on what is reality and what's not reality on the internet? Because you got it flipped right now.
So 2 trains of thought here. Because one, I fall guilty of not trusting certain things. But you mentioned like click to sign agreements as opposed to signing it in person.
Yeah.
Something like that happened to me this week here. I sent off an agreement to a guy on Monday for a group space. And I could see that he had seen it because we have an ability to see that it's viewed. I could see that he's seen it. And it got to yesterday, so March 2nd. And I'd sent it to him on Monday. He still hadn't gotten it back to me yet. So I'm going to check in with him, see if everything's okay. So I called him. And he was like, hey, what's going on? I said, I'm good. I just wanted to make sure you got the agreement. Sometimes it gets lost in spam and trying to make that touch point. He was like, yeah, I got it, sent it back to you same day. I said, what do you mean? I don't see that it's signed here. He said, oh, yeah, I looked at it online, and I couldn't find where to click to sign it, so I just printed it out and I mailed it to you.
Nice.
You did what?
Wait, like actual mailed it?
Postage.
He
dude.
printed it out, signed it, folded it up 3 ways, put it in an envelope, got it on my desk yesterday.
I've got that too. It feels good actually to get
kinda
a letter. Like it feels realer. I
Yeah.
get where he's coming from because like whenever I have to do those click to sign things and they do that fake autograph for you or signature, like I try to do it with the finger and then it ends up looking like a cipher from the Zodiac Killer. Or
Yeah,
something.
right,
You're
right.
like, that doesn't look like my name or any language on earth. So then you do that fake one and it does feel like that's really not me signing that, man.
It's like a forgery almost.
Kind of. It's like, yeah, authorized forgery.
Yeah.
But y'all hear about that Joe Biden?
Yeah.
He's on the moon right now. Yeah. He's using our tax dollars to go to the moon. Why? Probably play golf. Dad, I don't think that's true, man. I feel like that would have been way bigger news.
My other thing is there are some digital things that I don't trust. If you ever give me a check, I have to take that check to the bank.
I'm with
now,
you.
I will use like the ATM to deposit that check because it physically takes it from you.
Mm-hmm.
But my wife, when people mail me like birthday money and stuff, like her parents will email me, but her grandparents will email me money, or not email, excuse me, they'll mail me money, but it's always a check. So it takes me like 2 weeks to cash it because I live in Athens and my closest bank's in Madison. So
That sounds like a you problem,
she's
honestly.
like, why don't you just
We'll get back to that
mobile
later.
deposit it on the bank? You can deposit it mobily. I'm like, what do I do with the check afterwards, right? Like, the phone doesn't take the check. Check's still here. That
So what
says
do you
the
do with
money's
it?
in the.
You got like a
I
box.
take it to the bank.
No, I mean like when your wife does it, what do you do with the leftover check?
She saves it for a certain amount of time, and then she like shreds it, or we have a folder full of them somewhere.
I've burned a couple.
Yeah.
It feels more official that way, you know? I don't want to hold on to it, and I don't want to buy a shredder. And burning stuff's cool, so
I'll give you that.
kind of just works. But,
Alright. Yeah, I don't trust like mobile deposit of the check. You have to physically take it away from. I don't want it anymore after
Yeah.
I've deposited it.
yeah, I don't need a folder full of counterfeit doubloons in my filing cabinet. Just
Yeah.
take the check, give me some cash.
Get rid of it. I'm good.
yeah,
So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. But Will Levis, though, I'm tired. To get back to what we were
yeah,
saying.
Will Levis. Anyways.
No, but
Anyways, what I was saying, I don't know if Will Levis has got it.
when's Joe Biden coming back from the
Y'all
moon?
hear about this Will Levis? Yeah. Oh, he said he's gonna start throwing with his left arm now.
There are
I mean, that's more believable.
there are a couple.
He's gonna be the NFL's first ever switch quarterback. I don't know how, but he's gonna do it. I saw it on Facebook.
There are a couple of
Joe Biden's his quarterback coach.
there are a couple of high school recruits that are popular in the highlights right now because they're ambidextrous. Good throw with their right and left arm. And there's some pitchers.
I really do think that is the future.
There's some pitchers in baseball that do the same thing. They'll throw, and then depending on the batter, they'll switch glove. They'll take the glove and put it on their other hand, pitch to them left-handed.
I think the running back position is going to become a second quarterback at some point in the future. Hand off. Oh, we're running. Oh, no, wait. I'm going to throw the ball now. I'm wide open down the field.
It's just like the natural evolution of the Wildcat.
What do you call that? What would that be?
I don't know. We can come up with something.
The ocelot.
The
No.
ocelot. No.
Why does everything have to be named after animals in sports, in football specifically?
Prometheus.
It sticks easier,
Prometheus.
Prometheus. We're running the Prometheus package.
I don't know if that one would work.
That's no. What is that word? What's that from? Is that a movie?
Yeah,
It's weird.
called
It's also a movie.
Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the word has meaning or something, right?
I'm gonna need to go to the dictionary. Or
I got
something.
you
an
Google that
entire.
real
I've
quick?
got an entire computer over here. To look
Can we
this up.
ask the research department just slightly off
But you
camera?
can't
It's
trust
not us
everything you
Googling.
read on there. Might
Bro,
not be
you
my
hear about
definition.
Joe Biden? He changed his middle name to Prometheus.
Prometheus, a titan who is chained and tortured by Zeus for stealing fire from heaven and giving it to humankind.
I'll take that. That sounds like a formation I wouldn't want to have to face if I were a defense running the 3-4. you know?
They would. Yeah. All right. You need to spin it a little bit, but yeah, you're going to torture the other team's defense.
That's right.
You're
That's
not gonna
right.
be the one.
We're going to torture your reads because you won't know what's happening.
You're going to make them quit.
The Prometheus package.
I think we're onto something.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
You told me that I couldn't trust the internet. I believe the internet's telling me the truth about Prometheus. Speaking of, did you see this? Joe Biden's going to pardon the mole people. How about
Well,
that?
man, them mole people don't deserve to be pardoned.
He's hosting them at the White House.
Is he nuts? Oh, my God. This
Dad,
country's going down the crapper. Dang it.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I'm not a big combine person.
I don't. It's
Oh, yeah.
I get it.
Anyways, combine, though.
the things they put stock into.
That's dumb.
We're craving it.
Like I think it gives you a closer look at him. Like he was really good this year. Oh, even though he doesn't run a very fast 40, that's interesting that we can put that kind of tape with this. But to base everything to automatically forget everything you watch them do on tape before the combine is ridiculous. Like going back to what we were talking about earlier, like you can see Bryce Young. Now, yes, Bryce Young has a more talented team than most of the teams he plays, but you can definitely see there are times where he has to step up and make a huge player. He fits a throw into a really tight window, and he consistently did things like that at Alabama. You can watch that, and you can see these plays and realize that those are plays that not the average player is making. And you're like, that is really impressive. And then you see his measurables, and you're like, well, I don't think he can make these throws. You just saw him on tape make these throws for 2 years, but now all of a sudden you don't think that he can do something that you can physically see him do with your own eyes because all of a sudden he's 5'10".
Was that one GM? He
Yeah,
said, I'm
so-
scared to death to draft Bryce Young.
Well, I wouldn't be.
I'd be
Especially if you're a
terrified.
team that's already drafting that early. I mean, come on. What are you losing?
I don't know, man. There's an Alabama stigma, though, when you come out because everyone just always says, well, he's playing with such great talent. How's he going to be in the pros?
He's going to be playing with the pros.
I don't know, like every other Alabama player that's playing well in the pros right now. I guess.
yeah, right.
Specifically with quarterbacks, though, what you were saying with the stigma, I feel like, from Alabama.
Yeah.
And just look at him. I mean, Tua had a really good year when he was healthy this year. Mac Jones, as a rookie, he wasn't great this year, but as a rookie, he was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, kind of on a downturn now, but then look at Jalen Hurts. He
Yeah,
might be
look
one
at
of the
Jalen.
best in the league.
Do you
Who can
count him
claim
as?
Jalen? I'm not doing that.
Don't-
I'm just kidding.
don't
I'm
be
just
that
kidding.
guy.
I'm not going there. Again.
He went to
Is there even an
Y'all heard
argument?
about Jalen Hurts?
Well, because they went to because they were doing well in the playoffs and they went to a Super Bowl. Oklahoma fans got possessive. Alabama fans got possessive, and they forgot that they both have a right to claim them, which they do.
He's an Oklahoma guy to me.
I'm an Oklahoma fan, and I don't care if
Let's not
Alabama
do
fans
this.
claim him.
Okay,
Let's not
that's
do
fair.
this.
I can see that.
It doesn't
this
bother
is-
me that
doing
Alabama
here?
fans claim him.
Contentious.
He graduated from Alabama. He won a ton of games at Alabama.
Sure.
You're Prometheusing me right now, pal.
My least favorite part about that argument is when people try to compare. They're like, "Well, if Oklahoma can claim him, well then I guess or if
We're
Alabama
still doing it.
if Alabama can claim Jalen Hurts, I guess Ohio State can claim Joe Burrow." What's
Don't-
the difference? Jalen Hurts won 20-something games at
That is
Alabama.
different.
Don't reply to him,
Joe
Kevin.
Burrow.
But that
Don't
is
reply
different.
to him.
Joe Burrow like threw 10 passes.
Joe Burrow's
Joe
receiver.
Burrow.
It's going to get tricky with all these transfers now, yeah.
The only real
Please.
comparison would be Russell Wilson,
Stop.
Fair. Like Wisconsin or what was
Wisconsin
it,
or
NC
NC
State?
State.
I can see Ricky's done with this.
Well, I mean, you were the one that was done with it, and then you.
But I was catching
started
him. I
it.
was catching him. up.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's
I was
fair.
just
That's
catching
fair.
him up.
That's fair. That's fair.
Lastly, let's get into this then. If we're going to talk a little college football, so according to SI and Ross Dellinger, the SEC continues to look over the potential scheduling formats. If we're going to a 9-game schedule, what we're going to do is we're going to have every team's going to have 3 permanent opponents, and then they're going to rotate the other 6 in the conference, and that way that every recruiting class, if every recruiting cycle, if you're there for 4 years, you're going to have played every single team in the SEC home and away, which is great. That's what it needs to be. Georgia played Texas A&M once in all of the 13 years they've been there in the SEC. So that's definitely something that needs to happen. However, the opponents, which no surprise, the ones that Alabama would get their permanent opponents. Nick Saban came out and was really upset about it because he thinks that they're getting the 3 tougher of the permanent opponents. Alabama's would be Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU. And now they say that they were kind of basing this off of like trying to be fair and doing this off of like the last 10 years for each team. In Tennessee, the last 10 years, their average winning percentage is pretty low because they haven't been that great, but all of a sudden they were an 11-win team last year. So Nick Saban doesn't think that's very fair. He thinks they're getting the short end of the stick.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Don't they play those 3 teams every year anyways?
Every single year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Okay. So
And now you have the opportunity with those 3 opponents and playing every team in the SEC, you have the opportunity to play more weak opponents because you're in the SEC West where you're 7 permanent or 8 permanent games, 6 of them are against the toughest division in all of football. Now you can have more games, hopefully, as averaged out as possible against the weaker division or who was.
And that's always going to change too. I mean,
Sure.
the weaker and the stronger division.
If anybody's got a complaint about having to play, like now start to play more and more tough competition, Oklahoma and Texas thrown to your schedule, Auburn's got the biggest complaint. Now, they do get Vanderbilt thrown in there, but Alabama and Georgia, they have to play the 2 best teams in the country. I mean, they
Every
already
year.
do
They
that.
already do.
But I was really surprised to see Nick Saban come out. I guess he's lobbying to get as easy of a schedule as possible, but you already play these teams every year.
I get that. I get what he's saying, I guess, because what's Tennessee's 3 permanent rivals?
Alabama would be what, 1.
Vandy, Alabama, South Carolina.
Carolina.
So
Yeah.
if you're
All right.
Nick Saban, you're looking at that and going, well, how do I get one of those schedules? I'll tell you how. You go coach at Tennessee.
Who's Georgia got?
Georgia's got Auburn, Florida, and Kentucky.
Kentucky.
So the newbies, let's say Oklahoma is going to get Texas, Missouri, and Florida. And Texas is going to get Oklahoma, A&M, and Arkansas.
They kind of
So-
got away with that.
Yeah, but
I saw a tweet that was a
those
great
are-
idea, though.
those aren't the only 3 teams they're going to play.
Sure,
they're going to
yeah.
have to play 6 other SEC teams that same year.
Yeah.
I saw the fix, and it's to just completely hose Vanderbilt and make them play 14 conference games every single year. Everybody gets a game against Vandy. You get 2 other rivals. Vandy plays no out-of-conference games, which are usually their only wins.
They play 14 games a year,
14 conference games, straight SEC, nothing but a gauntlet.
so they have to play 2 more games than anybody.
Make it like a relegation
Well,
thing.
hey,
If you're the
that's fair
last team in the
because-
SEC, your next season, you're playing nothing but SEC games, dude.
That's
Punishment.
pretty fair though, because
think.
if you're especially with college football playoff expansion, you're going to be 3 or 4 SEC teams will play way more than 12 games a year. Right now, Alabama and Georgia play more than 12 games a year. Vanderbilt, instead of making a bowl game, all these bowl teams play more than 12 games a year. Vanderbilt not making a bowl game, you get more regular season game.
14 regular season. You got the option to schedule Hawaii, for that last week where only Army and Navy play, and then you get an out-of-conference game. Get a
Vanderbilt's 0-8 going into the last stretch of the season. Who do they have coming up? I feel like they're about to hit a hot streak. I feel like they're about to hit their stride. Ooh, they go to Alabama, LSU, Georgia back at home, and then Oklahoma.
Yeah, what's their schedule look like this year? Oh, the entire league.
Ugh.
Oh, they got Hawaii, though.
That'd be a nice
Early
trip.
December. That's good.
They'll,
Hawaii-
earn
Didn't
that.
Hawaii beat them by 50-something this year?
Was it this
Or
year?
did Vandy beat Hawaii?
thought
Hawaii's
Vandy
been
beat
embarrassed
Hawaii.
the last few years.
So there you go.
I think Vandy dropped like
Give 'em a
60
free-
something on Hawaii.
You play 14 SEC games. You get a vacation to Hawaii. You win by 50.
Ooh,
That's
this
a
year-
Vanderbilt national championship as far as I'm
mean,
concerned.
This year,
I
Vandy
agree.
and Hawaii is going to be week 0 in New Zealand. I get the New Zealand game.
Enjoy the trip.
Yeah.
Check out
While
the
it
sights.
lasts.
Yeah. This is your natty. Enjoy it. Better than how Vanderbilt normally ends up.
I don't think it's better.
Is
They get a trip to Hawaii.
you do. It's like
It's
going to
gotta
the
be
Pro
at
Bowl
Hawaii.
every
They
year.
already get a trip to Hawaii.
When?
Last year they did, didn't they?
Yeah,
Didn't
but they
play
just
in Hawaii?
scheduled Hawaii. I'm saying permanent schedule for Vanderbilt
permanently get
forever.
Hawaii.
All SEC, and then an early December Hawaii game, unless bowl eligible. Then that game will be just canceled because Hawaii.
At that point, Vanderbilt would just put us in like the AFC West or something. Just
Yeah, Vanderbilt.
that'd probably be better.
Just put them in the NFL. Just let everyone beat up on them.
Just be way better. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the 3 permanent opponents and you stack Alabama's up, but you still have the opportunity to like load the other 6 games for a year, like some of the weaker ones. You know what I mean? You can still put Vandy and South Carolina on Alabama's schedule to kind of balance out every couple of years to balance out Auburn, LSU, and Tennessee. You know what I mean? So if you look at their 3 opponents stacked to their other 3, yes, their 3 permanents are tougher than everybody else's, but you still have 6 other SEC games to kind of make up for it, the combinations you could put together.
I mean, the SEC is just so strong. You're going to have to deal with that every year. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to have a tough schedule.
Man, what drives
Can't
me
run.
crazy is Nick Saban has been Alabama's coach for, 15, 16 years, and all of a sudden going into year 17, he's like, I got to play these 3 teams every year? What is this? Coach, you played them every year for 16 years. I don't care. Now I'm mad about it.
Well, I'm tired of it. And did y'all hear about Joe Biden? Well, hey, Nick, let's just leave it at football. Please.
I actually
I
like
heard
those.
he's going to come back and he's going to confirm the moon's made of cheese.
He ate half of it.
That's why it's a seed.
That's going to affect the tides. And not just the crimson one, but the ones in the ocean.
That's right.
This White House trying to take down the tide. I said it. You heard me.
Oh, okay. Missouri would have Oklahoma, Arkansas, Vandy. Arkansas gets Missouri, Texas, Ole Miss. Let's see. I'm just going to go through the combinations. LSU, Texas, Mississippi State for A&M. Oklahoma, A&M, Arkansas for Texas. Texas, Missouri, Florida for Oklahoma. Not a bad draw because Texas every year, that's a lock. Getting Missouri in that, like an old rival, a school you're familiar with, still going to be a little brother to you. Still should be able to beat up on them. And right now, the way Florida is, I like their chances because Billy Napier, if he's going to improve that program, has a big up. Whether he's capable of doing it or not, he still has a huge uphill battle to climb. So I like that for Oklahoma right now, being an Oklahoma fan. Ole Miss, A&M, and Alabama for LSU. Not the easiest slate for LSU. A&M's at least going to have talent. Jimbo Fisher's, not making sure they live up to it. They've got good talent. They have to play Alabama every year. And Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin's a 9-10 win team just about every year so far.
I mean, it's tough for everybody.
I say
man.
they're not an easy out. No one
it
is.
really is not a. I mean,
There are some that are way easier, obviously. But
yeah.
I'm trying to find the easiest one. Let's see.
I was looking at Kentucky, like Mississippi State, South Carolina, but then Georgia. I mean, that's a big dog. Vanderbilt, they can't play themselves, so that's
out.
They
That's brutal.
all have at least one big dog.
I
in
think
there.
Oklahoma has a shout for it.
Dude,
if
they
I'm
really
honest.
did. They got
Pretty
Missouri in there, which I get, and then they just threw Florida in randomly. I guess Florida needed another third partner, and Oklahoma became
Was that a
that.
national championship game when we were growing up?
2008.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Was
Sam
that, Sammy
Bradford,
was that
Tim
Sammy
Tebow.
Bradford out there?
Yeah,
Bradford, Tim Tebow.
He didn't stand a chance, man. It's all right.
Jermaine Gresham caught a touchdown, ran out of his shoes.
Whew.
man.
First play of that game, Bradford went deep down the sideline, and I can't remember who the Florida safety was, but leveled, just absolutely leveled the Oklahoma wide receiver, like right under the chin strap.
Keanu Neal.
No, that
I
was
have no
like
idea.
7
Keanu
years
Neal was
later.
like-
yeah, I know. That was like
this
5
year?
years ago or something. Steve Atwater.
No.
Okay, all right.
I just
Simple
wanted
no
to
would've
move on
worked.
to something else, but I couldn't think of what I wanted to move on to.
I could tell. He had one of those like acid reflex burps. That kind of triggered that.
Wait, how do you feel about Oklahoma in the SEC? I guess.
How do you feel
What's
about
your
it, though?
feeling?
If it's going to have, they get one more year in the Big 12 to kind of warm up with Brent Venables. I just want to. It'll depend on how the 2024 recruiting class goes.
Sure.
Because as it stands right now, talent wise, I like what they're doing. The depth on their roster is what he really needs to build. And this class that he's bringing in, even though they only won 6 games last year, the signing class he had for 2023, it's that Oklahoma's highest rated recruiting class in 247 sports history, I believe, but it's also across the board. Lincoln Riley had a lot of top 10 classes. It was offense heavy. Brent Venables' class is very balanced. It's got great talent across the board. If he does that another year in 2024, then I'm liking their chances. They'll probably go in there and win a total of like 7-8 games maybe in year one, I would guess, like as a good maybe 9-game, 10-game ceiling.
That might be low, yeah.
But and then you stack on another 2 or 3 classes like that, then yes, I think that they're going to be one of the premier teams eventually.
I agree. They're always going to have talent.
Texas has the talent.
They're always
They
gonna
just
have
can't ever
talent.
put it together.
Boomer. Man, I'm really on the
Well,
crap list today, huh? Well, okay,
wasn't
cool.
for me,
Favorite Oklahoma football memory of the last 30 years? Tony Mack, go.
Oh, dude, that's too many. There's a lot.
Think about it,
In the
Kevin,
last
go.
30 years,
Think about it, go.
so many good ones.
When Stoops retired.
Ooh, great
Oh,
day.
dude.
Great day.
I'll tell you one good one
Yeah.
more recently was when Stoops came back to coach after Riley left. That
Oh,
was
Captain
awesome.
Oklahoma.
That was
Yep,
awesome.
the figurehead.
Yeah.
Mine was when the schooner fell over.
That was a
time.
good. That's a
Remember
good
that?
one. That's a good. That was a harsh one too.
It was. Ooh, it looked rough.
Yeah,
No one
it
got
fell over
hurt,
and
did they? Are
broke
they all
or
right?
It broke.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they were fine, but they normally like hang upside down out of it
Yeah.
while they're running around.
Okay, I
so.
just want to make sure they were fine.
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
Yeah.
That sucker took
You're
a tumble
good.
though.
They were
Ted,
so-
can we upgrade the schooner? Do we still have to have wooden wheels?
Tradition.
No, you
Someone's
gotta-
gonna get hurt. It's too top heavy.
I would
It's a
probably
That's why we
say-
got rid of it back in the Oregon Trail. Okay, it's too top heavy.
I probably said the Williams Superman back in like 01 is like probably one of the most favorite memories for Oklahoma fans. It was Texas. It was like a
Forgot about that.
7-3 game. Texas on the 1 yard line. I think it was Sims was the quarterback. Drops back, gets stripped by Teddy Lehman, I think, and or Roy
That's
Williams
exactly what I was
strips him,
thinking
and
of.
Lehman grabs it.
Teddy Lehman going, yeah, that view with the camera down low. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a big one.
good
I would say when 2008, when it was
Done.
Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas Tech were all ranked in the top 5, and Texas had beaten Oklahoma in a really good game, and then Texas Tech upset Texas. So Oklahoma was ranked like 5, and Texas Tech's ranked the number 2 team in the country. They come into Norman. It's 42-7 at halftime. Oklahoma's stomping them, and the entire crowd stole the Wisconsin thing. They started doing jump around in the stadium. That's like the legendary Oklahoma home game. That was a really good one. And then I could go off for like the they had a Trey Millard was a fullback. He hurdled a Texas lineman or a Texas guy on the sideline for like a 66-yard run that was almost a touchdown. That was a good one.
All right. We've maxed
Blake
out.
Bell
I
had
was
like-
just looking for an excuse to bring up the falling
Belldozer.
schooner. Yeah.
Blake Bell had
The
like
Belldozer's the greatest player that's ever run through Oklahoma.
He had like
He
4
passed for 67 total yards in 4 years, and I think he scored 100 touchdowns.
He had 4 rushing touchdowns in the first half against Texas one year.
the Belldozer.
He's won a Super Bowl. He was
the Chiefs.
Chiefs tight end.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. The Trevor Knight Sugar
Yep.
Bowl against Alabama
That
was
was
a good one.
we could
Baker
probably end it
Mayfield's
there.
got 1.5 million of them.
Probably all right.
There's been a lot of good memories.
Told you there was a lot of them,
I
man.
know.
They've had
Yeah.
a good program.
A lot of good ones. The best one probably is going
Fiesta
to be
Bowl.
the Superman play.
What?
The Superman play probably is the best.
Is there anything
Oklahoma
better than a
memory.
good fullback play though?
Fullback's good.
Yeah.
Trey Millard was a good Oklahoma fullback.
Great.
So
We'll see.
it feels weird to wrap up this podcast on Oklahoma stuff, but it's time to get going. So
Do you want to end it on something better?
do you have something better?
Buddy, I found this story on Facebook earlier. Wait until I tell you about this.
What happened?
No, I don't have any.
I was
thought,
ready.
I thought you were gonna.
No, I was gonna
power
say
through
some
one.
big public official is like a lizard person or something, but who cares?
Finally.
It's Friday. Let's get out of here.
All right, we appreciate you guys stepping in. It was good to see you, man.
Yeah.
You're going to be here all next week, so maybe you can pop in on another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks
if
for
you
having
want.
me.
Ricky, are you working all week next week, or are you taking any time since you're getting married next weekend?
I am working Monday through Thursday. I'm out Friday, so I can go to the venue and get yelled at. Probably do a lot of grunt work, get some stuff ready for the
yeah.
wedding. And then Saturday, oh my gosh,
And just
it's a
remember,
big day.
all of you are invited. So come on down to Ricky's wedding. All right, maybe that's more of an RSVP event. However, you are invited tomorrow
It's more of a
morning.
wait
Me
for
and
the
Ricky,
photos.
Big Spring Park, 5:30 a.m. We'll be doing a couple laps.
Yeah, nobody
Come-
showed up to the last one. Pretty disappointed. Sat on the bridge for an hour waiting for just one singular jogging partner, and it didn't happen.
And that's
So-
because we thought 6 a.m. was a little too late. So we're gonna back 5:30. Be there. We'll be on the bridge waiting for you tomorrow morning. So
All right, well, cool, man. See y'all there. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You gonna do something?
Yeah.
Cool.
we'll see you Monday. It's the bullpen.
All right, now look, now that the show's off the air, I can tell you all that story. Y'all remember Joe Biden? Yeah. Get a load of this. Crap, I don't have